Legion, lighted cigarettes put on a down people bag, poured ketchup and hot sauce on people.
I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks.
Then on the second day of the student demonstrations, things turned violent. Police turned high-pressure fire hoses on the young people and set attack dogs on them.
To the protests in Birmingham, Alabama.
Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
To be detrimental to your safety to continue this march, and I'm saying that this is an unlawful assembly.
To the beatings on the Edmund-Pettis Bridge, to the modern-day inappropriate and unlawful acts in policing.
A primeira vez que eu ouvi falar das Olimpíadas, o Eduardo Paes falou que essa comunidade aqui ia ser movida sim.
And the violation of rights for the Olympics so the wealthy can profit. What many will not tell you is the violation of human rights that took place to build historic Dodger Stadium at Chavez Ravine, a thriving town with hard-working Mexican-American families.
We got displaced.
This is Dolores Hernandez. She lived where the Dodgers now call home. Remember, with redlining the norm, many Americans needed housing and a roof over their heads. Chavez Ravine had over 300 acres and consisted of three main neighborhoods, Palo Verde, Bishop, and La Loma. It was a safe haven for many. In the 1940s, LA faced a housing shortage as its populace grew. Support grew for a public housing increase. The Ravine, which was home to so many and provided grocery stores, schools, churches, and much more, became a target. The Housing Authority designated Chavez Ravine along with 10 other LA areas as blighted, a term used to condemn areas predominantly occupied by racial and ethnic minorities. LA officials used eminent domain and other political machinations to wrest that land away from its owners. The residents, pressured to sell, were told they would have a place in a brand new development named Elysian Park Heights. 1,000 units were projected, as well as schools and playgrounds. The promises were there, the execution was not. As time went on, many stayed put, but saw offers lowered and lowered. There was another faction of folks in this fight, private real estate, and the rise of conservative Republican Norris Poulsen, who would become mayor of LA. He ran on vehement opposition to public housing, using the typical Trumpian attacks like socialism and communism. He won the mayoral race and bought back the land to be used for the project. The Elysian Park guarantee was officially dead. Meanwhile, Walter O'Malley, the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers, envisioned a bigger, better, and newer ballpark for his club with public funds. New York's offer did not suffice, and thus Poulsen and O'Malley struck a deal, making good old Chavez Ravine, with families still living there, as the team's home.
TV news viewers watched that night as the final families were violently evicted.
The police came and forcibly removed the last residents. Poulsen was accused of making illegal deals with the Dodgers while betraying the public, while supporters of the stadium, including public figures such as Ronald Reagan, argued that opponents were baseball haters. The great-granddaughter of a family who lived in Chavez Ravine founded an organization that wants to preserve the history of three Chavez Ravine neighborhoods that are today buried under Dodger Stadium. It's very easy to get on board with the Dodgers. It's very easy to celebrate their victories, said one historian. It's not as easy to remember the conflicts that led to the arrival of the Dodgers in Los Angeles. On April 10, 1962, Dodger Stadium held its first ever opening day. For many, it was officially closing time.